Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Mike Musial on the line, and he's Managing Director over at Total Bank Solutions. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
So excited to get into you got an announcement today. You just launched this new platform, SBL platform, securities-based lending. But before we get into that and some of the nuances of it, I want to talk a little bit more about what you're doing overall at Total Bank Solutions. So first off, tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Sure. Total Bank Solutions is a financial technology firm. It's privately owned. It's been around since 2004. It's managing a little over $60 billion in assets right now. And primarily what we do is we lend technology to financial institutions to manage their cash and deposits. And as you mentioned, we have a new securities-based lending platform for wealth management lending. And my role really been is to develop that platform, and I'm now coordinating all sales as a subject matter expert, and then post-sales closing, training our clients on proper use and adoption of the platform.
What are the right type of clients or the right type of fit typically for Total Bank Solutions?
In the world and the half that I deal with at Total Bank Solutions, we typically deal with banks that want to lend to clients and wealth management firms, and they can be broker-dealers, they can be RIAs, they can be trust departments that deal with client assets, or they can be fiduciaries. So really what we're doing is connecting those two, and we're competing with the larger wirehouses who do this type of lending in-house, and we're bringing that experience to these breakaway advisors that want to go independent, but then subsequently lose some of the functionality and the products that they had at the wirehouses. So we're really just a conduit to enable these breakaway advisors to have that set product set with unaffiliated banks.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into it. So tell us more about this SBL platform, please.
Sure. Securities-based lending really came around in the early 2000s and was introduced to the market at Merrill Lynch, and I was fortunate enough to be there when it rolled out. And it has subsequently grown since then to become really a stable, necessary product for managing client assets. And what it is, it's effectively a line of credit written against marketable securities, much in the way a home equity line is written against the equity in your house. And particularly in times like now when you see the market retrench 30% from its highs, there might be clients who have a strong need for liquidity. Maybe their income has been interrupted, maybe even their job or their livelihood or their business. They might need to liquidate assets to survive this next few months, but they know selling right now would be the absolute worst time to do it because the markets are likely to rebound in the next quarter or two. So what to do, right? Mm-hmm. We give them a line of credit at absolutely no cost at a really attractive rate, and we can underwrite them in as little as 30, 45 minutes, start to finish, with no documentation, so they can borrow off their assets, keep them in the market working, and then repay as they see fit with the advice of a financial professional. So if you look at the major wirehouses right now, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, UBS, and Wells Fargo, they have well over $250 billion of these lines of credit outstanding, and they have trillions of them just in facility size open, and it's become really the major profit center for these firms, given that trade commission has been compressed to almost zero, or actually zero at some firms. Mm-hmm. So what's the problem we tried to solve is, if you're a smaller RIA or if you're an advisor at one of these large firms and you want to break away and start your own firm, you do so without the backing of this product because you don't have an affiliated bank to lend to your clients, right? So we designed a platform that enables these breakaway advisors all the access that they would have had at their previous firms, and that helps both in retaining the advisors they have at these RIAs and these independent broker-dealers. Mm-hmm. It helps in recruiting new advisors. It helps in keeping assets under management, And it really just helps with managing the client's portfolios in a way that they've come to expect, in a new 2020 holistic kind of way.
Yeah, no, I think what you're doing is great, and especially so that people don't necessarily have to liquidate their portfolios if they didn't necessarily want to, and they had the assets, and they're like, oh, I got to do this. Like, why am I? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bad situation all around. But that being said, also empowering these other advisors. So I remember I haven't been in finance now for a while, but I was an advisor for almost 14 years, and I remember when I broke away and I opened up my RIA shop, I lost that part of the business. Like, I couldn't do that anymore. I didn't have that lending functionality anymore for the client, so that affected me pretty much immediately. So I figured that, and clients, like I no longer, for some of the higher net worth or ultra high net worth clients, they were not really a good fit for me anymore. Not that I didn't have the skill set, but I didn't have that product, and that's a big deal. Especially if you're working with the the high net worth or the ultra high net worth area, and in business owners, right? Business cash flow. I mean, there's lot of ways to use your product.
Yeah, and what else is interesting is that, through the years, fortunately, we've been able to see the trends of these major firms, and, these products really take off when they're streamlined. And by that, I mean our product enables a financial advisor to generate an application for their client that's pre-filled from the custodial database information. The advisors have to round out a little bit of information, takes less than 5 minutes. They can send that to a client who electronically executes it in 30 seconds with a click of a button, and then it's ported through our system to an affiliated bank, and they can underwrite this fully automated. A human being doesn't even have to touch it if it's a good loan in less than 30 minutes. And if you do that, then the advisors start putting these on their accounts proactively, just sort of as a feature of how they provide service. If you make it hard to do, if it were like a home equity line where you had to fill out tons of paperwork and it could take 30 days and, it was just a cumbersome experience, the advisors would only do it as a reactive, need-based solution. And what we found at the firms we've done this at where we automated, the adoption rate absolutely skyrockets. And that's when the clients start really benefiting from having it in place prior to a need, prior to an emergency, as opposed to scrambling after there's been an emergency.
Oh, now you're just spoiling them, Mike. No paperwork, no nothing. Now you're just spoiling them.
Absolutely. That's the idea. You almost make it so easy they can't say no. Like, why wouldn't you offer this to your clients? Exactly.
That's awesome. So, Mike, that being said, if somebody's listening, if there's an advisor out there, or BD or RIA, and they're out there listening to this and they or bank, they want to learn more about Total Bank Solutions, what's the best way for them to reach out?
That's a great question. There's two ways. We have some pretty extensive information on our website, which is totalbanksolutions.com. Or they could reach out to me directly and shoot me an email, because some of that stuff we don't really put on the website because it's proprietary and we don't want anyone really seeing what our secret sauce is. My email is mmusial, that's MMUSIAL, at totalbanksolutions.com. And I'm happy to just have a general discussion about our product or securities-based lending in general. And obviously we can set up a demonstration and kind of walk through what it would look like in, a deployed sort of functionality.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Mike, it's been great having you on the show. Congrats on the new platform you just launched. Awesome stuff there. I know your clients and also your clients' clients are going to benefit from that. So great stuff there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review in the Apple iTunes Store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there. But also leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things you're working on. And Mike, thanks again for coming on the show.